What's up everyone, and welcome back to Grace Crochets. For today's video, I'll be teaching you all how to crochet these super cute cactus coasters and the cactus coaster holder. For the yarn that I used for this project, I used Red Heart Super Saver for the brown, and for the green, I used Karen's Simply Soft. You can get both of these at Walmart for like $3 about, I'm pretty sure. And for the pink flowers and the white little specks, I used Loops and Threads cream cotton yarn. I've only been able to find that at Michael's, but you can order it online at michaels.com, which I will link below because they're actually having a sale for $4 off each ball of yarn, which is a really good deal. But I'm sure you can use any type of yarn for any of this. That's just what was readily available to me. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with the coaster holder, and we're going to start off on the bottom and work our way around to the top. For the foundation chain, you're going to start off with 10 chains. And then in the second chain from your hook, you're going to place 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. And this single chain right here, that's going to count as a single crochet. Now for the next 7 chains, you're going to place 1 single crochet. And in the last chain for your foundation chain, you're going to place 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now you'll be working around and around, so instead of coming back up this way, we're going to work into the other side of the foundation chain by placing 1 single crochet for the next 7 stitches, but I'll do one with you because it can be a little tricky. I'm going to insert my hook into the bottom of these stitches and placing a single crochet. So you do that 6 more times. Now that you have finished your first row, you are going to place a slip stitch into that chain 1 that we said counted as a single crochet to finish off your first row. Now you are going to chain 1 and place a single crochet into that same space that you just made a chain 1 from. There we go. And now into the next stitch, you're going to place 3 single crochets. Let's see, there we go. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now, for the next 9 stitches, I will place 1 single crochet. Now that you have placed 9 more single crochets, in the next stitch, which is on the very end, you're going to place 3 more single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. I placed all those into the same stitch so I could increase. Now to finish off my second row, I'm going to place 9 more single crochets. I will finish off my row by placing a slip stitch into the first single crochet from this row. Now again, chain 1 and place a single crochet into the same space you just created a chain 1 from. Now into the next stitch, also place 1 single crochet. And for the next stitch, that's where you will be placing 3 single crochets. Oops. There we go. Now place 11 single crochets. In the next stitch is where you will place your 3 single crochets. Now, once again, I will place 11 single crochets and finish off my row with a slip stitch. We will have 1 more row of increasing, so again, chain 1 and place a single crochet into that same stitch. Now in the next 2 stitches, place 1 single crochet. And into the next stitch is where you're going to place your 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now for each of the next 13 stitches, you're going to place 1 single crochet. Into the next stitch is where I will place my 3 single crochets. Now, to finish off this row, I will place 13 more single crochets and finish it off with a slip stitch. Now that we are done increasing, for the next 13 rows, you are going to place 1 single crochet for every stitch. And now that you are done with your 13 rows, your holder should look something like this. And then you just fold it over. So now, let's work on the actual cactus coaster. To begin working on the coaster, you're going to place 10 double crochets into a magic circle, but I'm going to show you a special way that I like to do it. So I will wrap my yarn around 2 fingers like that, take my hook, go through, and pull my yarn up. I will then take my working yarn and chain 1. This chain 1 doesn't count as anything, I just use it to kind of hold everything together. Now I will begin placing my 10 double crochets. So yarn over, insert your hook into this big hole here, yarn over, whoops, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. That counts as 1 double crochet, and now you're going to place 9 more, all within this circle, and don't finish it off with a slip stitch yet. After you do 9 more, I'll show you guys what to do next. Now that you have placed 10 single crochets into this big hole right here, you're going to take your ending yarn here and pull it super tight. It's going to make this circle close up, and you want to make it as tight as possible. Now you can place your slip stitch. And that is how I like to do my magic circles. In my opinion, there's no better way to do it than this, just because if you do it any other way, the circle likes to stretch back open, and I just don't think it looks good. But this way you get to keep on going back and tightening it up. So for the second row, into each stitch, into each double crochet, you're going to place 2 double crochets to increase. So I'll show you. I'll also show you my technique to get a clean slip stitch line. I don't chain or anything, I just kind of pull my loop up, yarn over, and go into the stitch directly. I don't chain 2 or anything. So there's 1. I'm going to go back into that same stitch and place another double crochet. And there's 2. So in each of the next 9 double crochets, you're going to place 2 double crochets for each. To begin working on row 3, you're either going to start off with a chain 2 to replicate a double crochet, or you can do what I do by just placing a double crochet into the same stitch that your hook is currently in. And now in the next stitch, which is where 2 double crochets are, you're going to place 2 double crochets there. So yarn over, place 1 double crochet, and now place another into the same stitch. And you're going to repeat that by doing 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. And all of your increasings should line up like this. To begin working on the next row, you can do the same thing by doing a chain 2 or just placing a double crochet. I like just placing a double crochet. Now the pattern will be 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, instead of 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and repeating. I'll show you. So I have 1 double crochet here. I'll place 1 more into the next stitch, and I see my increasing, so I know that's an indicator to place 2 double crochets. Now I'll place 1 double crochet to the next stitch, 1 more double crochet into the next stitch, and again I see my increasing, and that is an indicator to place 2 double crochets. And you're going to repeat that for the rest of this round. To begin working on your last row, you're going to repeat what you have been doing by either placing a chain 2 or a double crochet into that first stitch. Now you're going to, instead of placing 2 double crochets in 2 different stitches and then your increase, you're going to place 3 double crochets all in separate stitches and then 2 together into the 4th stitch. So I have 1 double crochet here, work into the next stitch, there's 2, next stitch, 3, and I see my increase. That's where I'm going to place my 2 together. So again, it will go double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, 2 double crochet. And you should finish with 2 double crochets together on the very end. And if you've done it correctly, all of your increasings should line up. But if not, if you're a beginner, no worries. After your 5th row, your coaster should look something like this. And then you can cut off your yarn, but make sure you leave about 4 feet, because at the very end you're going to make another one of these, and you're going to place slip stitches all around the edges to connect them. But at this point is when I made those little white specks. And how I did that, there's probably a better system for this, but I couldn't really think of one, is I'll just pull the weight through and pick another place like there, pull the other side through, and then let's cut that off. There we go. It'll look like that on the front, and I'll do that like maybe 12 times around the front. And now I'll teach you guys how to make the little flower. The flower is super easy. So you're going to start off with 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to insert your hook, let's see, back into that first chain. There we go. And you're going to repeat that by chaining 5 and inserting your hook back into where you first inserted your hook to make the first petal. Let's do that 3 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Insert your hook back into that space, yarn over and pull through. Let's do that 2 more times. Insert your hook. Let's do 1 more petal. If I can get this one out. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Insert your hook and pull through. And it should look something like that. And you can take your little circle and connect your flower wherever you want it. I typically did it around in this area. And then to finish off your coaster, you're basically just going to make another one of these. And then I'll show you really quickly how I connected them. So basically, if you were to pretend this is 2 separate coasters, you'll insert your hook into the other side, yarn over, and do a slip stitch, and that'll connect them. So then after you connect both coasters or both green circles that you make by having slip stitches all around the edges, it should look something like this. And as you can see, it's two separate pieces, and that'll keep the ugly part inside from when you add the white specks or when you tie on the flower. I ended up making 3 of them. I mean, that's all that we really needed, but I think they're super cute. They're honestly super helpful and convenient. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and tutorial, and stay tuned for more.